Avant garbage.
Silence, you funny fool!
Welcome, ladies, gentlemen,
welcome.
those who lie in between or outside, to Avant Garbage, Episode 3, Return of Torgo. I'd like to introduce us. Leo, I'll let the guests introduce yourself. I'm of course William, as I am every week. And who are you?
He's. You go first. He clearly. All right, fine. You know what? I'm just gonna remain unnamed because I have no self-esteem and because I don't want my name attached to anything online.
Green.
Yeah. My friends call me the Wendigo because I'm unnaturally tall and look like a stick figure.
That's the whole joke.
That's the whole joke. And who are you, my kind sir?
My name is... Oh, are we using real names?
No.
And addresses?
Yeah, exactly.
Hi, guys.
Dox yourself. First.
Dox myself. You can call me 3fam_DEEJAY.
Thank you.
Because I'm a DJ. That's
And
the whole joke.
Most importantly, we have a very special guest today.
The cat?
Torgo, live in the studio. Torgo. The movie.
Master is out right now. Leave a message at the Torgo.
So the movie we're talking about today is the greatest movie ever made. Monos, The Hands of Fate, and we are going to go attack the cat. Okay, is the cat there?
Yeah.
Very good.
You're welcome.
Okay, Monos, Hands of Fate. How do you describe one sentence each?
I've already said this.
One
but...
sentence each.
Okay, just give me a moment, all right?
Okay.
So I've already said this, but it's more filler than movie.
Yeah.
Like, it isn't even a good watch from, like, this is so bad it's good, it's just boring because it's all filler.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, like, disturbingly long filler because there are so many scenes that go on for way, way longer than they should.
I'm going to say that the creepiness factor of the movie wasn't from the actual plot of the movie, but rather from how much padding they did and how long the padding was on for. It was like
Goodbye.
they had like stock image shots, and then the shots were just so like extended. It was like, what am I watching? And
Yeah.
It was eerie. It was eerie and creepy.
I think the figure I found is that it was made on $19,000 in the 60s, and it very much shows.
Isn't the 60s money worth more than today money?
Yeah, but that's still like nothing for movie standards.
I feel.
And it was made by a guy who had absolutely no background in movies. He was a fertilizer seller.
It shows because that movie was shit.
Hey!
High five.
So if we want to start talking about it chronologically, the riveting film that it is begins with this couple, their young daughter, their names are Michael and Margaret.
See, I would have loved to know that, but they didn't actually tell us their names.
No, but she screams, Mike! Mike! All the time.
See, it's fun because all of the basic details in this movie, like character names and setting, they're not revealed to us through the actual plot or through exposition, but through random background noises and Easter eggs. Which is fun.
They have a daughter named Debbie, apparently.
I knew that one.
Yeah. And this little dog, which I don't know if it has a name.
What's your favorite?
Yeah, the dog dies pretty quick.
Yeah.
What's your favorite?
Debbie's whole entire role in the movie is basically just to whine.
Yeah. When the first opening thing...
She doesn't do that very well either. Like, the wife whines way more.
I think it might be the first line in the movie, but it's clearly like summer, and they're driving around, and the daughter goes, I'm cold!
What's your favorite Debbie moment?
I'm cold!
Is that your favorite Debbie moment?
Yeah, and he says he'll put the roof up on the car,
And he never does.
and he never puts the
He's
roof
a
up on the
fiend.
car.
He's a fiend.
I'd also like to add that throughout the movie, I'm pretty sure that's like one of her 2 or 3 lines.
Yeah, I know. She's
I'm
silent.
cold, just over and over again.
Yeah.
I thought there was
It's not
gonna
that
be
she's
vampire
silent. It's
movies.
just that she says the same thing over and over. It's
Oh,
always the same
everybody
thing.
says the same thing over and over. It's how they make dialogue, apparently.
And so Margaret, before they try to cheer her up, so they sing, and instead of giving her warmth or whatever, she just continues to freeze in the back of that car.
No, she went up front.
Yeah.
They sung, but the dad sung off.
Because other thing about this movie, all of it is this terrible, we're going to get some chip eating ASMR, but all of it is this terribly dubbed over the original footage, because clearly, when he was filming this, he couldn't afford like a boom mic, and so instead he had to go into a studio and post and dub all the dialogue onto it, and it looks amazing.
The movie looks so amazing.
And so, they're clearly lost. Michael has clearly gotten them lost.
He won't admit it, though.
He won't admit it, though.
Because he's a 60s man.
Because he's a 60s macho man. Macho man Randy Savage. And there's like, I cannot stress this enough, there's like a 5-minute music montage in the beginning of the movie of like tropical music.
Reggae, I'd say almost bossa nova if you're into Castaways from the Backyardigans. That's a trend now, by the way. Did you know that?
It is?
It
Just
is.
people on TikTok, apparently, which I'm not on, they sing, Castaways, we are castaways. And I hate bossa nova, so it's really not great. You'd think I like it because I like jazz and swing and stuff, but bossa nova is horrible.
What do you got against Hispanic music?
It's like, I like reggae,
Mm-hmm.
and I like jazz, and it's like, I like pancakes and I like tacos, but I want to eat a pancake taco.
Didn't
'cause
you
that's
say?
disgusting as
Didn't you
fuck.
say you don't like the Red Moon, the Will Wood song, because it sounds too Spanish?
Red Moon is okay. It's just like, I've warmed up to it. I didn't like Chemical Overreaction for a long time, but I've warmed up to that one too.
There's our review of Will Wood's Everything is a Lot, and our review
There we go.
of the Monos, The Hands
Well,
of Fate.
it's just comparing how much content that we have for Monos Hands of Fate, which is quite a lot, mind you, saying
Yeah.
as the movie ran for 69 minutes.
Nice.
Nice. However, we've had 10 minutes of content and plot. Can we do a plot rundown without
that's
interruption?
that's
yeah,
what I'm
you do that.
going
You
through.
do that. You finish that.
All right. So, you guys can give input as you talk about the plot.
Mm-hmm.
They first are stopped by the cops because he has a broken taillight.
Yeah.
Now, this isn't ever brought up again. I'm pretty sure what they meant to do was to invite the car was old and a beater, but it didn't really look like that otherwise.
Yeah.
Because the
Exactly.
car gets stuck later on, and they can't believe.
And no one like tampered with it or anything that we
I
saw.
never
Yeah, it's
explained
just-
why that happened. That's so dumb.
I feel like I know what they were trying to do, but it wasn't done very
I think
well.
you're trying to say that because the cops were mentioning that the car was broken earlier, that's why it like broke down later.
Yeah, I think what they were saying is this car is shit. It's a pile of junk and it's
I
breaking
see
down.
that. That was not explained well at all in the film.
And I just want to point out, this is some hashtag white privilege here, that he just talks his way completely out of a ticket or anything for having a broken taillight.
In a hurry, man.
That he's
With
in a
the
hurry.
kids, on
With the
vacation.
kids.
He puts up
The
no
cops
resistance.
arrested
Yeah.
0 people.
The cop is like, it doesn't matter.
Mhm.
It doesn't matter what your excuse is. You're getting a
He
ticket.
goes to make out people like 3 times throughout the course of the film, and they get a ticket 0 times.
Yeah, and then he goes, and they ask for directions from this couple who's making out. They're doing this awkward
They're main
thing
characters. They'll be back again.
2 more times.
Uh-huh.
In which they're like the woman's like weirdly straddling the man, and he's like force feeding her alcohol. Which is, it's not even out of a traditional alcohol bottle. It looks like a maple syrup bottle. That
It looks like shit. I
Like a
forget what the
flask?
word. No,
Yeah.
not like a flask. I've seen those kinds of bottles used
Yeah.
for alcohol before. Like, I think every bottle of bourbon I've ever seen
yeah.
has been one of those.
But so later on, the cops will stop this couple, who is, we can only assume the man is driving intoxicated, but he
Drives
does not
away
care.
intoxicated.
He does not care one bit. And so they make it to the house, and they meet Torgo, who is the MVP of the movie. We all love Torgo. And
Torgo has his good moments and his bad moments.
every Torgo moment's a good.
I unfortunately think he's the most dynamic character in the entire film, and that is a sad, sad fact. Like,
yeah, they gave him a weird amount of focus.
they gave him he has like a character shift in the middle of the film, like a motive shift, and not only that, but he has like likes and dislikes, which is like leagues above like half of the other characters.
I'd honestly go so far as to say that he's the only character in the movie with any sort of character development.
He's the only one with theme. He shows the message of the film.
What's the message of the film?
What do you think the message of the film is? Let's go around and say the theme of the film of Manos Hands of Power.
That dog was a good boy. That's the theme. What's
Which
your
one?
theme? The one the painting. We'll get to that in a second.
The vicious one?
The vicious hound. What was your theme of Mono's Hands of Fate?
Honestly, I think the guy who made it was just he was on drugs or some shit. I don't know what the theme is.
There are two themes.
Okay.
Theme number one, you can't make a movie with only $19,000 in the 60s.
I know. I think you can. I think this guy just,
Okay.
Yeah.
With that experience. And also when you're on drugs or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Two, maybe the theme can be through my interpretation of art.
Mm-hmm.
Which, that's what art's for, like
Of course.
personal interpretation. Maybe we can make it like, if you see a haunted house, change yourself and get the fuck out.
So it's meant to be like when they arrive at the house, it's meant to be sort of like a, mysterious, spooky thing, but it ends up just making your main characters look like assholes. Because when they show up, Torgo walks out of the house, who's this like hunchback sort of man with a walking stick.
He's cursed, I think.
He's cursed, okay. And they talk to Torgo, and they're like, "What is this place, Torgo?" And he's like, "I am watching the place while the master is away." And they're like, "Okay, well, we're lost. Can you give us some directions?" "There is no way out of here." They're like, "Okay, if there's no way out of here, does that mean we can stay here?" "No, the master doesn't want you to stay here." So Torgo's created a paradox where they can't leave and they can't stay, which, good job, Torgo.
And then they're just like, okay, well, it's getting late. The sun's going down. You weren't helping us get out of here. We're staying in your fucking house.
Yeah, it's so rude.
They intrude on Torgo's property.
They make Torgo carry their bags for them.
Like all two of their bags. And he's just like, chop up. Hurry up.
It's kind of fucked up, man.
It's really bad.
And yeah, so he keeps talking about the master, and then like they keep asking him directions, and he keeps giving weird evasive answers. And they ask him where the master is, and he's like, "The master is dead."
He's
and
beyond the void.
And they're like, he's like, "The master likes you," and they're like, "How can he like us if we're dead?" And he's like, "Dead, not in the way you would know."
He didn't like the guy. He liked
he
his
didn't
wife.
like the guy. Liked
The
his
master
wife.
is very like polyamorous, sexually active with many women.
He kind of looks like a vampire version of Freddie Mercury.
I can see that. He kind of looks to me like...
But like when he was dying of AIDS, probably.
He looks like Borat.
He does look like Borat.
He looks like Borat, but he put on a cheap Halloween costume. And then, like, the thing with the master's outfit in the film is you can see the zipper, like, on the back of his costume. And it's like...
So that takes us to... They see a painting of the master.
They do.
He is a vampire?
He looks reminiscent of a vampire. He isn't... I don't think he's actually a vampire, though. Just some sort of, like, weird dark master of the arts or something who serves some dark god.
Monos.
Yes.
Monos.
He's also got this dog. They say it looks vicious, and admittedly in the painting it looks kind of creepy because it's got those, like, white dog eyes.
Yeah.
But you see the dog in the movie, and it's like...
He's just
exact
vibing.
opposite.
He's just
It's
a
like-
vibing dog.
It's just like this little, like, wiry kind of dog that just looks like it's having, like, the time of its life as it...
He's like, I'm on a film.
What are you doing?
I think I know what breed it is.
Oh,
Is
I like
it like
that.
a Doberman?
Yeah, it kind of has that weird, like, fucked up mouse face.
I like that.
He's a good boy. He's a good boy.
We get such a good description of the dog because they show the painting for a full, 2 minutes out of the 69
And they're just like, look at
runtime.
that scary dog.
Like, it's just a chill moment in the house, and then suddenly dramatic movie looking at a picture of the guy and the dog for, the next minute and a half.
Yeah, it's got to be, like, some sort of Doberman-esque
Wait, what does
animal.
that one look like? Can I see? Oh, this is the thing!
Yeah, it's one of those. The dog, later on when we see it, looks like he's having the time of his life. It's
He's like looking around, he's just vibing.
And so, the thing is, though, that they see the dog, they see the master of the painting, but then they hear an ominous howl, and the dog runs off into the...
The family has a dog. Yeah, the family has a dog.
Both the family has a dog, and then the master has a dog. The family's dog is the one that runs off.
The
We haven't
family's-
even seen the master's dog.
The
yet.
family's
Yeah.
dog is like a tiny poodle, animal.
Yeah.
Who walks on 2 feet in the beginning of the
Oh,
movie.
it's horrifying!
It's absolutely bad.
It stands up on, its hind legs and starts walking
Yeah, the
around.
kid makes it do it too. It's real freaky.
If there's anything possessed by the devil, it's
It's
that dog.
that's Manos' true form.
That's the form he appears in. So, the dog runs away, and Michael, the dad, goes out and looks for it. He gets a flashlight and his trusty revolver, which will be totally good and not useless
It
throughout
is
the...
tiny. It is a tiny revolver.
It is a tiny little gun.
And he looks for the dog, and I think it's implied that the master's dog killed it.
Yeah, they find this broken, stiff body of the dog, who has been killed. And they don't even tell the daughter at any
No,
point
they're
that her dog is dead.
They wake her up because it's nighttime.
Yeah.
And you'd think that they'd wait until the morning and be like, "Oh, your dog ran off," but they wake her up in the middle of the night, and you're like, "Dog ran away."
But yeah,
Sorry,
they
kid.
don't tell her it was dead though.
Daughter was probably like, "I'm cold."
And so, eventually he goes to bury the dog in the desert, Michael does. And while that, Torgo goes and molests the wife and tells her that the master wants her for his bride. Because the master's running some sort of polyamorous cult thing?
Have they seen? Was that before or after they saw the cult thing?
This is before.
So,
He gropes her shoulder in the most, cerebral palsy way possible he's weirdly, it's not just, he's grabbing the shoulder, he's, weirdly, waving his hand over it, and he's slowly...
and
over and over again.
This gives some real character building for Torgo because it shows his motive in the movie that will become apparent later, that he wants someone to love on.
Yeah, and
also,
go ahead.
Important to note that throughout the movie, the family also constantly switches, deciding whether they want to stay in the house or leave.
Mm-hmm.
So at this point, they're trying to leave, and Torgo's screwing them up.
Molest.
He's like, time to molest.
So he molests her shoulder. He doesn't even That's a weird. That's the least threatening way to molest someone.
I don't think he was trying to molest. I feel like he was just I am possessed. I want to touch your shoulder.
It was sexual assault, and it seemed like he just didn't really know how to interact.
Yeah, he didn't know how to.
Wanted a bride.
He wanted to sexually assault someone, but he didn't know how.
And then she's just like, "Stop it!" And he's like,
Okay.
and then the wife never told on
Yeah,
him.
yeah. She threatens to tell her husband, but then never does.
He's just like, "Bye."
And so they come back and they decide they're going to spend the night, right? And
They've
that's when
changed
they're
their
left.
mind once again.
Until at one point in the night, Debbie, the daughter, runs off, and very clearly she walks out the back door.
But they don't notice because they're looking at the painting again
Yeah, they keep looking at painting.
for another minute and 30 seconds.
They go outside the front door.
Because they're sure she's outside, even though both of the doors to the outside were supposedly super locked.
Yeah.
So I don't really know how she got outside if both of the doors were
The
locked.
master let her out, I guess.
When they go outside, they call her name for 2 seconds at the door, and then the wife just breaks down and accepts that her daughter's gone.
she's given up.
That was probably my favorite part, too.
Yeah.
You don't even look. You don't even bother looking.
Like
she's
dead.
she's
She's
gone.
dead.
She's right off.
So this is like my favorite part of the movie. Right after this, is that Debbie emerges holding the leash to the master's dog.
Yeah.
And she's walking it, and they all act like as if this is like a monstrous, vicious animal. But Debbie is holding the leash to it,
And she looks
just
happy as a
and-
clam. She's
yeah,
like
she's just
vibing.
walking like a happy dog, and the dog doesn't look vicious. It just looks nice and happy.
And then the dad's like, "Come here, Debbie," and Debbie drops the leash and immediately freaks out. She's like,
No.
"Ah!"
Look at this scary dog, and they're like, "Where did you find the dog, Debbie?" And she's like, I just found it.
And
I
it's-
just found it."
Instead of the
Big
vicious
place.
dog attacking, the vicious dog just walks off. It's
He
just
looks
like-
so happy.
It does.
Whenever someone is not holding the dog in the movie, you can see the leash being held by someone out of frame. It's amazing.
I love the movie.
If I can theorize, it may just be the director's dog.
What if it's okay? Here's a better theory. This
Mm-hmm.
is an in-universe theory. It's what's Manos?
Manos?
Manos holding the dog. It's the poodle holding the dog.
So they follow Debbie back to where she found the dog, and it's the master's tomb campfire.
Bed?
Ritual location.
He
Yeah, so
has
well, if we can describe it, campfire in the middle,
hand in the middle.
hand in the fire.
Black
like
hand in the
A
fire.
big slab where the master is laying down, and then a
Who's-
bunch of pillars where all of his wives
who's-
are like strung up or something.
You know,
Yeah, they're all in columns.
you know the Greek muses
Yeah.
where they all like all the wives wear like white and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They're like surrounding
The master.
on his bed, and his dog is like chained up next to him.
If I had to describe the master's clothing, I would say like a Dark Brotherhood member is kind of how he's dressed.
I'm pretty sure. You know the Gravity Falls episode?
Wait, are you with me here, Drew?
Hmm?
He's dressed
No.
like a Dark Brotherhood member.
He's got the same color scheme.
Give me-
sort of.
give
No,
me
but
some.
some of
The
the
hands?
what?
I
Yeah,
need
the
to look
hands.
something up.
You do it yourself on your own
It's
phone.
over there. I don't
I'll
want to
go
walk.
get it. I'm gonna go get it.
Okay, well, be careful. It's pretty far.
I think I'm gonna die before I make it back.
Well, don't do that. I feared for you.
I'm back, baby.
Okay,
We're
hang
glad
on.
this
You know
movie are
that?
safe and sound.
You know that one episode of Gravity Falls with the hand witch?
Hand witch, vaguely.
I'm pretty sure she wears the same thing. Hang on, let me double check. Holy shit, she did.
Wait, she did? Let's see it. Huh.
It's like a red cloak with two hands on it.
Oh, okay, you're right.
Yeah, it must have been a reference to Manos.
Of course.
See?
What else could it be?
Look at this.
What else could it be but a reference to this
This
specific
obscure
movie?
movie. I mean, it's dealing with hands. Maybe she's, what's his face? You know?
Yeah. What's
Oh,
this?
shit! I'm sure this has been pointed out somewhere, but Manos,
Okay.
the Hands of Fate, holy shit. It is all connected. It's all full circle.
Okay, so they find the master.
Oh my God, you're actually
It's
right.
on
Yeah.
Reddit. Holy shit.
The master is in the middle. He has this like polygamous thing going on with all of his wives around him.
Uh-huh.
He's in a trance, asleep.
He sleeps until Manos awakes him.
Okay. Okay.
And the fire's always burning.
The fire always burns.
Mm-hmm.
And Torgo comes up and he's kind of like mopes for a second. He's like, "Why does Master have so many wives? Why can I? Torgo wants a wife.
The wives are also sleeping too.
They're
Everyone's asleep in a trance.
Torgo needs a wife. He wants to molest."
Torgo's like, how come Master gets a wife, but I have to do all the dirty work and
He
I
has
don't
like
get a
6
wife?
wives.
He does, and Torgo's like, I just want one wife.
I just want one.
And he like creepily molests
One
another wife.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, is that lady tall or is Torgo short? That's what I
Both.
want to know.
Both.
Yeah.
I think that one is technically Torgo's wife. Okay, because here's my crackpot theory.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the movie, spoilers, you know how Michael becomes
Mm-hmm. New Torgo?
new Torgo? Well, and they also clarified when the wives were fighting that yellow-haired girl
Mm-hmm.
was the most recent wife.
Yeah.
So, and that was the one Torgo was molesting.
Yeah.
So is it too far-fetched to say that there was someone before Torgo, and when Torgo's family was kidnapped, the yellow-haired girl, the blonde, she became the newest wife, and Torgo became the Torgo.
That's
and
an
Torgo's just
interesting idea.
molesting his own old wife.
Wait. If Michael got to keep his name when he became New Torgo, does that imply Torgo's name was always just Torgo?
I think so. I think it's Eastern European. The master looks very Eastern European to me.
Is he one of your relatives?
No, he's like Borat. He looks like Borat.
Was he one of your relatives?
He is. He's
Okay.
me, actually.
Oh,
I am
that's-
the master. Spoilers. Sorry to say it. I've been alive since the 60s.
Okay, so this is the thing. The next big thing is a moral conundrum. It's a really, big moral question in the movie in which the wives wake up, and they're like, Torgo, you tried to molest one of us. That's fucked up, Torgo.
Master was all...
But then they're like, we all agree that the master should keep the woman, the wife as his wife, and we should kill the man, but should we kill the daughter or keep her until she grows up so she can be a new wife?
Because
They're into grooming children.
Manos likes woman.
Yeah.
Also, the wives can always remember what happens to them even in trance, so they
Yeah.
totally tell on Torgo. And Master goes to Torgo.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm gonna fucking kill you. We
And he-
forgot that Torgo totally knocked out Michael.
Yes, he knocked out Michael. He comes up behind him with his staff and beats him, and then
It was more like a bonk.
in this horrible 2-minute sequence, he slowly takes his shirt off, takes his belt off,
Slowly.
and ties him to a tree.
Yeah, and it's like, for violence in this movie being the 60s, they have a gun 4 times, but the worst hand-to-hand violence that there is, and there's a long amount of hand-to-hand violence. It's just people gently slapping each other,
Yeah.
and off-scene slapping. The worst it gets is probably when the master hits that one girl who's tied up. But do we want to talk about how long the wife's fighting scene is?
Yes. So the wives get into an argument about whether they should be sacrificed or not, whether Debbie the girl should, and it is maybe 5 minutes of light slapping followed by actually tackling each other
In
into
a
the
dark
sand
desert,
in this dark desert. And my theory is that the director was jerking it behind the camera, and it just lingered too long because that's what he was into.
we know that the director is a self-insert. The director is Michael, by the way.
Yeah, the actual actor who plays Michael is the director.
So that's fun.
He's just behind the camera yeah!
So then the master goes and he confronts Torgo.
Yes.
And by confront and supposedly kill, that actually means he
Mm-hmm.
yells at Torgo. At first it was funny because we thought he was dead because Torgo sleeps on the floor in a hole, beside a chest, and we were like, oh shit, he killed him already. But no, he's just sleeping there, and the master wakes him up very politely. He's
Yeah. Well, he bonks him with the staff.
just lightly, he's like, Torgo, get up. He's like, you molested one of my wives, I'm gonna kill you. And then proceeds to not kill him, but just
Stand there menacingly.
and then walk closer to Torgo until he's in the corner.
And they keep having these amazing reverse shots between Master's face, Torgo's face, Master's face, Torgo's
I
face.
thought that was 10 minutes.
He
I thought
also-
that was 10 minutes of the movie.
He also has the evil, menacing dog with him, and once again, it's being held by someone off screen.
It's not even that. It just looks so happy. He's
Yeah.
licking the air and stuff too.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
The dog is the MVP of the
The
movie.
dog
by
is
far.
the real MVP. So Torgo's like, guess I'm gonna die. The master just says, you're going to die. You're going to die. And Torgo's like, okay.
So then Michael wakes up and unties himself.
No, he doesn't. First he gets molested by one of the
Okay,
wives.
yeah, he gets molested by one of the wives.
And that basically results in the director getting kissed by this one wife, for 6 minutes, or at least a minute.
Yeah.
While tied up to a tree. So that's kind of weird from a
Yeah.
director's standpoint. don't know what plot relevance that had in the movie.
No, it never came back. It never
really
came back.
Did. I was expecting the girl to be like, we can't kill the guy, but it really didn't do that. I think he literally just had one of the girls kiss him. So, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's a cool thing that happened.
And Michael wakes up, he gets his family,
Mhm.
and they run off into the desert.
Mm-hmm.
Then we cut back to what's happening with the Master, where he's going to sacrifice Torgo. And by sacrifice, he puts him onto an altar.
They slap him a bunch.
They slap him a lot and, caress his face.
Not the Master. This is two of them. Two of the wives.
2 wives are smacking Torgo.
There are 5 wives left at this point. One of them is tied up because she's like...
Betrayed them.
Yeah, because she's like, we can't kill a kid.
Yeah. But
Even though they save a kid at the end, they don't ever kill the kid.
Yeah. I don't get it.
I don't get it.
But they smack Torgo around a bit. And then he brings Torgo up to the fire where the hand of Manos is. And forces Torgo to touch the hand, and it severs Torgo's hand and lights him on fire.
His arm wound and his hand.
And he runs off into the desert and is never seen for the rest of the movie.
So he's not dead, really. He just kind of...
He's not dead, but they act like he is.
Yeah. And then...
he goes to go sacrifice the wife who had been disobeying him.
This is like when the Master, slaps the wife a bunch.
Yeah,
and
he just keeps smacking her over and over again.
That one wife does have a bit of plot relevance. She's like Torgo, where she has she's not a main character, but she really is a main character because she actually is dynamic.
Yeah.
Where at first she was like, I'm a wife, but then she's like, you don't scare me, Master. Keep beating me. You can't kill the kid. I'm not afraid of you. So I guess that's like an anti-bullying sort of deal that she has with... Thank you. That's the theme of the movie. Don't be afraid of the Master. Supernatural forces.
Supernatural forces protect me.
Yeah, so she totally gets... Does she ever die? She just gets...
Yeah, she
just gets beat up, and she's still in the pole, I guess. We never saw her die.
Yeah.
We don't know what happened. She was like, God's gonna kill you.
Because what happens is, when he's in the middle of bitch slapping her, one of the wives comes back and is like, the family has escaped. We must go into the desert to hunt
They left
them.
the house. This is the 5th time they've changed their mind.
Yeah, so they're running away into the desert. Michael falls over at one point for no reason. Nothing tripped him. He just falls over.
He's an idiot.
And then he gets up and he keeps running until they find a scary rattlesnake, which is very clearly stock footage.
He shoots it twice because it woke up when they fell down and made a lot of noise. He's like, heaven forbid the snake is awake.
Cut back to the police officers who hear the gunshots, get out of the car, decide the gunshots are probably coming from Mexico, and then drive off.
We forgot that they interrogated the kissing couple.
Yeah. Not even interrogated.
They're like, don't kiss here anymore. This is the 2nd time we've told you. I low-key thought the movie was a comedy. I'm not gonna lie. It was just... They were just brought up so often.
It was weird.
It was weird. So, the family...
Oh, the dumbest decision
They're
ever.
like, okay, so the Master and
He's
the
hunting
people
us.
are hunting us in the desert. Let's just go back to the house. Let's, again, decide to go back to the house for
They
the
wanted
6th time.
They wanted to reverse psychology. The idea was that that's the last place they'd look for them.
Yeah.
That was probably the stupidest thing they could have done.
So they go back to the house and get this.
The Master is
was
in the
there.
house.
Holy shit, how could this have happened?
And Michael goes and shoots the Master several times.
And then there's a cut, so we don't get to see what happens. They leave us on a little
Then we see
cliffhanger.
we see the Master was not harmed by those bullets.
Yeah, he just kind of looks at him. But we don't see his chest or body or anything, so we aren't sure.
Mm-hmm.
And then they do a sneaky little cut cliffhanger sort of deal, so we don't know, To this other couple.
Well, it's 2 women.
2 women. They're going to the same place. Originally, the family was going on vacation. They're
To
going
some
to
hotel.
the same place. And, they end up lost on the same road that they were, going to the same house, and we see what happened at this dark sort of what really turned out after they shot the master. And Michael turns into the new Torgo.
And now his wife and daughter are both wives as the master.
Yeah, so that's kind of freaky, especially because they said they were going to kill the daughter. So I don't know what happened with that.
Yeah.
They were getting rid of the one that said we should save the daughter, right?
I guess Manos had another plan.
Yeah.
He was right. Manos loves
woman.
Manos loves children. That's the big thing.
He loves
about
woman.
Manos.
He
They're
hates
grooming.
children, though.
They're
the only
grooming.
reason they keep her around is so that she can become a
They're
woman.
grooming her.
They're grooming her. Wow, that's fucked up.
That is horrible.
Can we cancel Manos?
I want to cancel
I would
Manos.
very much like to cancel.
Hashtag
horrible.
cancel Manos.
I can't believe it.
Can't believe he'd do that.
They killed the dog, though.
Yeah,
Manos
they-
doesn't like dog.
So what are your overall thoughts on the movie?
Well, hang on. Manos does like dogs because the master has a dog.
That's true.
That is so stupid. I mean, are we wrong?
No, he has a dog, yeah. He has a fierce beast.
He has a fierce enemy dog. Final thoughts on the movie.
Not final necessarily. I mean, these things normally go for an hour. I mean, if we don't have anything to say, we can go shorter. But you know,
What are your thoughts on the movie?
I was gonna say, every shot goes on at least twice as long as it should have.
Generously, I would say most go 4 times as long.
Music seems to go on and off at random.
I would say they use too much of it and
Yeah.
very inappropriate times, and they use a lot of jazz music over a
When
bunch
it's
of.
supposed to be scary.
Well, it's like they made a scary movie, but then they have like jazz scene over a bunch of wives fighting in the desert, and it's like, what the fuck is this?
Why am I so afraid? The jazz.
Will Wood, back again. It's full
Yeah.
circle. We're coming full circle.
Imagine if me singing that gets the video copyright claimed by
I would love that.
by Wilson Wood himself.
I would love that.
I'll fight you,
That
man.
means you've made it.
That means
Yeah.
you've made it big time.
Big time.
Clink.
The dialogue, they repeat themselves all the time. I think the most that happened to scene was maybe they did like the same line like 4 times in a row.
Can we talk about that beginning scene when they were arguing with Torgo? Like, about trying to go into the home? Torgo said they just re-emphasized the same point with every line they said. I was just...
Yeah, it was like, you cannot come in. But we really want to.
I'm not sure I want to come in.
You cannot come in. Come on, just let us come in and use your
I
phone.
don't think I want to come in.
You cannot come in.
I think we have to come in. Okay, let's go in.
Okay, Torgo will let you come in.
Oh, great. Now we can come in.
Do you want to talk more about the complex, dynamic character that is Torgo?
Let's talk about Torgo and then maybe the other wife. The
Mhm.
good wife. So, Torgo, let's talk about Torgo's character development, shall we? At the beginning, he was like, I live here. This is my home. I serve the master. And, you know, I don't think he was very content with himself.
No, definitely not. He's shaking like he has scurvy. He's, you know, doing weird dance moves to jazz and, you know.
There was this one time he walked in the door and it looked like he was vibing the fuck out, man. I love that.
He was on whatever drugs the director was on.
And then he's like, he had that whole thing where he wants a wife, and he argues with, when the master comes to confront him, he like full on argues with him. He's like, I'm gonna help the family escape. And at that point, I was sure he was gonna become like a major protagonist of the movie.
Mhm.
Like, I thought he was gonna like help get him out of there.
Instead, he just kind of gets bullied by the master.
He just kind of is like, I'm dying now. Guess
The
I'll follow
master
you.
literally T-poses at him.
I like that. There's so many false ends with, or like false like tricks in the movie. Like, I was for sure that, you know, they've introduced this like kissing couple. Maybe they'll come by because their car is broken and their car works. Maybe they'll like drive by and pick them up. But they never went anywhere. They teased the cops. They're like, maybe the cops will come and find them. And then they just kind of look at the area and they're like, must be in Mexico. And then they tease, Tigor, and it's like, nah, he just sort of gets bullied and dies. So it's like...
Well, he doesn't die. He runs off.
He doesn't die. They just claim he's dead, pretty much. It's dumb.
And by the end, I guess the master decided that now he's going to be a pedophile.
Yeah, that's so stupid.
Because they say, the daughter's going to grow into a woman.
Weird flex.
Final thing that happens in the movie, though, is that, so the cops finally arrive. It's like the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, no, not the cops. Wasn't it like random two girls?
Yes.
Yeah, we talked about, and Michael's the new Torgo.
Yeah, okay, you've already at that point.
Mm-hmm.
I like it when that happened.
I am Michael. I watch the plays.
Yeah, he changed his voice too.
Yeah.
He changed his voice.
I am Michael.
It was weird.
Also, I forgot to say, when the group of women are driving towards the end, there's like a 5-minute sequence of them driving in the rain, and which was clearly filmed from the back seat of whatever car they were in.
Oh yeah, and it's horrible shooting.
It's out of focus.
They're showing us the rear view mirror, trying to show us their face, but it's like dark and obscured, and it's like...
I would describe the mood of this movie as when you have a fever, and nothing, and you have like chills, right?
Mm-hmm.
And nothing, no matter how much like layers of clothing you put on or whatever, nothing can make you feel warm, since it's not real cold. It's only in your brain, and you're shaking uncontrollably, and you just want it to end. You want to go to sleep so that it'll finally fucking end. That's how I describe watching this movie.
I would argue that it's kind of like that, but maybe at less intensity. I use the analogy of like the start of the movie, where they drive down a road and then it hits a dead end and then there's nothing. Because the movie just goes on, and it introduces all these winding new characters and stuff like that, but it just goes nowhere.
Nowhere
and
at all.
Like at the end of the movie, it just repeats from the beginning, essentially, right? It's like...
The director...
What did we learn?
The director was trying to do something clever by having, like, you can't defeat the master. Look, it's spooky.
Mm-hmm.
Michael is new Torgo.
Right.
But because, like, I don't care that happened to Michael, because you never endeared me to the character.
Oh, yeah, that's true. It's like Michael had no redeeming character. He was just a rude guy.
It's like... They could have had a moment where it's like the horror of, this family we kind of liked. Now they're Torgo forever or whatever. But I don't care.
We didn't kind of like them.
Yeah. Torgo was the only one I was rooting for.
I like that one good wife. Let's talk about the good wife.
Okay, talk about her.
She's pretty cool. She's the one who's like, what if we don't sacrifice a child? And
which is cringe.
Which is total cringe to... Well, the other wives all liked her.
Mm.
It was literally just this one that didn't like her.
Yeah.
And the master decided to side with her for some reason, even though everyone had a consensus against sacrificing the kid, which is what they did at the end of the movie anyways.
Yeah, they didn't sacrifice the kid.
I guess what the director was trying to show is that I think the one lady who wanted to kill the kid pinned all of the fighting on her.
Yeah.
And then was like, she caused all this fooling around.
Mm-hmm.
And
there's some line exactly like that. Like, she caused all of this ruckus.
Yeah. So I think the master was like misguided in that, but it's just, she was cool because she had changed. She changed her character because she was like, she got tied up and she's like, I'm not afraid of you. You can attack me. God's on my side. And I think she died.
Yeah.
I guess she just died.
He kept, like,
we don't know what happened
her face
to her.
was covered in blood when he kept smacking
it
the shit out of
was,
her.
and I guess blunt force trauma death?
That'd kill you eventually.
That would
Being
kill
tied
him.
to a post would kill you eventually.
Would it? Because hungry.
Yeah, starving, dehydration would get you first in the desert.
Yeah. She could drink the blood. This is a vampire movie.
Alright, I guess, do we have anything else, or you just want to give final thoughts?
Final thoughts.
Alright.
You
go
first.
Oh, I'll go first.
Wink.
Pretty similar to what I said before, in that it's a winding movie with no aim, no direction. Things appear to just happen because they should now. It's like if because like some of it is very much just stock footage. It's like, all right, so what do I need to do? It's like if what I described in the beginning was if an alien was like told the basics of how to make a movie, but didn't actually like know how. He's like, okay, well, I need to set up this family and show that they're lost. So we'll have the family drive up, and they'll say, "Oh no, we are lost." Like there's no. The way you endear characters naturally without being obnoxious to your audience is by having them do and say, like, you know, some witty banter with each other. And you're like, oh, I kind of like these people. He just kind of assumes you'll be rooting for this family.
He really does. It's a lot of stretches that he takes. It wasn't a very good movie.
No.
I looked it up. It got a 1.8 out of 10 on IMDb. And then surprisingly, a 39% of Google users like the movie.
It's once again, I don't even know if it's it's not even like a fun, ironic watch. Because
it's a lot of waiting for nothing to happen.
There's another movie I think I'll be covering soon.
Manos Returns?
No, that we've watched together. Do you remember?
Manos Returns was made in 2018.
Do you remember?
That is recent.
Yeah,
that is like 2 years ago. 3 years ago.
Do you remember?
We need to watch that one.
Do you remember Something in the Woods?
Is that the Bigfoot one?
That's the Bigfoot one?
Yeah.
That one's actually funny to watch because it's bad.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That one's a little freaky, though.
Yeah, there's like occasionally...
There's occasional spooky in there.
What's your final thoughts?
I've said pretty much everything I can about this movie.
Mm-hmm.
It was boring.
Yeah.
I agree. It was boring.
Your final thoughts, then?
I feel like the director, whose name I was looking up, his name is Harold P. Warren. He tried to do a lot of interesting things. He failed miserably. It was experimental, sorta, and this experiment was a failure, to say the least.
In the same way that, you know, Chernobyl was experimental.
And the pursuit of
how many corners can you cut with nuclear reactor?
Well, there are two thoughts. I have two thoughts. It's either A, he was going in an experimental direction, and you can't blame a guy for being experimental because not everything that's new is good, but it's worth trying, right? So, like, live and learn, you know? He tried something, he was bold, he put himself out there.
He made it on a dare.
He did it. That's the second thing I'm going to.
Yeah.
This was stupid. He only did it for a dare. It wasn't a well thought out movie. He self-inserted himself to get kissed and have jerk-off material, probably. It's like...
He also played it at, like, Texas drive-in theaters.
It really wasn't an experiment movie. It was more of just, like... You made a horror movie very, very poorly, and you tried to make it something that's not. I'm going to see his filmography right now. Has he even made anything else?
I doubt he did.
Movies, film writers, Manos, The Hands of Fate. This is the only one. Oh, and Manos. There's just a film called Manos. What is this?
I mean, it's the prequel movie all about Manos.
Oh, there's... Wait, what are all the movies? Oh, there's Hands of Manos, and then the sequel, Manos Returns.
Oh, okay.
So it's a trilogy.
Cinematic universe.
This is the next Star Wars, in my opinion. Not really. This was horrible. Don't watch this movie. Not even fun, ironically.
I think, like, if you put it on, like, ×2 speed, it could actually be pretty decent movie.
I don't think so. I feel like the music would kill you.
That's fair.
I mean, maybe if you want to watch it, you could give it to a blender or a shredder and cut it up into a tiny little pieces and only have the pieces of content. Maybe we work on making a dub where it's only the plot things.
Yeah.
A full 5 minutes even, of just, you know, all the content in this movie. And then maybe someone else can expand it using their own OCs.
We should shoot our own sequel.
We should make our own sequel.
Manos 3.
Manos 3, the Mana scene.
Oh, well, you have to play the master.
I will be the master. I look like the master.
Guess I'm Torgo.
Crispy, do you want to be
the dog?
Yes.
Do I have to say any lines?
No.
Then I'm fine with
Which
that.
dog? Both of them?
Yeah.
I hope can we
Well,
shop?
hold on, they're never seen in the same shot, so it's doable.
Yeah.
Wholesome.
Last thing I'd like to say on air is that my friend here is actually the one who made the intro music, so thank you.
Did I?
Yeah,
I
Alligators
did.
and Coconut
I
Mall.
love that one.
Yeah.
Wrist tickle.
Ha 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 ha. Ha ha. Fuckity ha.
Yum.